Good evening. Welcome to the 1927 Club. Tonight we are joined not only by Mr. RDE, we are joined by Mr. Evan James as well. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Yeah, not bad.
Bit better now.
Calm down a little bit.
Yeah,
just a bit.
I think of all the people coming back. That's my thoughts now. Is the people travelling back? What's it? To Blackpool, 5-6 hours on a bus, I expect.
Well, yeah. Probably.
I think Adam said he's about 5-hour journey back earlier.
Yes, I'm disappointed for them. You know, I obviously haven't been away much this year. Well, I haven't been away at all yet. But you know, to take the amount of fans we did up there today and come away with a performance like that was disappointing, to say the least. Like I said, I think we were all up in the air. I think straight after the final whistle, but time to kind of had a couple of hours to sit back and reflect. So let's dive into it. Initial thoughts, Reese?
On the result or the game, or
yeah, well, it's a bit of both. But
like we said before the show, I think tactically it was I don't want to blame players of this, but I think the manager's got to see, especially after the first goal, like, you know, one pass cuts our time midfield out. You know, that happened last year a lot, that did, and it's frustrating to watch, but you're thinking, right, they've got a first goal. But then they push the team so forward that we just leave ourselves exposed to the counter. And again, all it takes is one ball, and teams are in behind us. You've got to be, if you're playing that way, you've got to have a sixer, you've got a Wintler to shield the back line. You've got to tell your defenders not to go so far forward. There's no need for certain players to be in the final third. To cover the counter, I think the manager's got to see that and make decisions. And it's one of those games where if you're not going to score, right, and we've seen plenty of them games from Sport Cardiff, where no matter what you do, you're not going to score. You've got to be smart at the back and not concede. And if you do concede, you don't get the second or give the third away. I think we give away 3 easy goals today that we really shouldn't have. And that's the disappointing thing. If you come away saying it's a 1-0 win to Blackpool, you're disappointed. They've hit us on a counter. They've had a good game, you know, lucky. But 3-0, and it's a different. You come away feeling a bit different after that. You're a bit more angry, I think, and it's not the best. Like, I mean,
and it could have been more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know their goalkeeper. He had he kept him in the game first half. But how many times have we said it this season so far that we've created so many chances, and you know, we're not putting the ball in the back of the net. And I felt today that if we had got that first goal, I think I put in the WhatsApp group, I think we would have gone on and probably scored three or four goals. Their goalkeeper was outstanding today. And I think, Reece, you said before we come on live, it's pretty much we were on the other foot today when we were, you know, Nathan Trott has kept us in so many games. And they are, you know, at the end of the day, that's what they get paid for, to stand between them sticks and keep the ball out. And I thought their goalkeeper was outstanding.
And I think, I don't know how to say this now, but like, we had Craig McHale-Smith on with me and Rob the other week, and he was saying on there, like, modern attacking build-up play is so rigid and so pre-planned. Players got to go here, you stand here, you do this. If ball goes there, you got to do this. They've taken out the intelligence of footballers, basically, and the freedom for the final third. I think we suffer from that because the way we build the play up on the attack, we try and get the ball wide. We don't cross it. We look for the pass to cut back. And it's a bit like Arsenal this evening. They try and pass along the front, the back line, and try and work the next pass, or a bit of space to do. And I just think you've just got to let the players have a bit more freedom on the attack. If they get the ball wide, let them put the cross in. Let them drill the ball in. You know, stop trying to overwork it. Stop trying to find the next pass, because it's too easy to defend against. So we see in most weeks.
The first corner of the game, though, we took it short, and I can't remember what happened, but the ball didn't end up going into the box. And I'm just thinking, first 10, 15 minutes, just get the ball in there. Give yourself an opportunity. But no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's another thing. Set pieces as well. They've not. You can't really say they've improved. We've got a tidy size squad. Put the ball in the box. I mean, you're not going to score unless you put the ball in the box. And, you know, you might not win a header. You might get a ricochet. You might win another corner, another set piece. You might get a goal, deflection. But you never know until you try. Reading scored past us this year because they took shots had a shot on the goal. Bradford scored 3 goals because they took shots. Teams are not scared to shoot against us. And how many deflections have we seen gone in, or we just under the foul end us all?
Yeah. Ev, was you surprised on how Blackpool started the game? I thought for the first 15 minutes they controlled the game, didn't they? They were high pressing, putting us under pressure. And I thought for the first 15 minutes we were still on the bus.
Yeah, I think I wasn't surprised with how aggressive they'd be. And obviously Ian Evatt, recent manager, so I knew, again, you call it the manager bounce, the new manager bounce, whatever. We saw it with Luke Williams as well, and I knew they were going to have an instant lift because it happens even if you were to get in a supposedly worse manager than the last one you had. It's still sort of like that new bounce you get. I mean, we've had it under Reza and the Bullet, well, not so much Bullet because he was started in the summer, but I knew it was going to be fast-paced tempo. I knew it was going to look a bit messy at times. They weren't going to play amazing football like we tried to play. But I knew they're just going to be very counter-attacking away. He didn't really press as much to start with as much as I thought. But, as soon as they got the ball, they were quick in transition. And what was interesting today really was showing, basically exposing our game plan as much as possible by showing that, yes, possession football can be done right, but sometimes you've got to kind of, look what the other team are doing and realizing, okay, well, they're not really pressing us how we want them to. So there's no point in trying to play from the back. And to be fair, like after about 10 minutes, we brought the game to them a lot. I think we just got carried away, and I think we went ultra attacking and just left it there for the whole game and just kind of forgot that we, had one in defense the whole time. So it made them look a lot better when we had about, Chambers at left wing, Ronald Capaccio attacking midfielder, and then Dylan Ola at right back, and it left us with no one tracking their runners who ended up scoring. And whilst Trott saved us a bunch of times, it could have been honestly 7-1, 7-2. I mean, we had a bunch in the first half, but it was 2 really good keepers. But the difference is that their team had a defence today, our team didn't. And I'm not talking about just the individual defender was poor. I'm talking about there were no defenders at times, tracking runners or nothing. And that's what really cost us and made them look better than what they really were, I think.
Something to mention there, though, it's Ian Evatt set them up perfectly, like, because we always start slow in games recently. You watch any Cardiff game for the last 5-6 games, we start slow. And he would have said to them, go guns blazing for the first 10 minutes. Catch them cold. If you're going to goal, if you're going to goal, they're going to come out and they're going to leave spaces in behind. If they don't get a goal, like, take a foot off a bit, let them just soak up the pressure, and the longer it goes on, they'll get more desperate for that goal, and they'll push more men forward, and then you punish them, then you hit them on the counter. And they did that today really well. And I think you could see it coming. I just think we didn't adapt to it. Even at the end, we didn't adapt. We didn't put a 6 on to cover the back 4. We didn't drop the full backs a bit tighter or a bit deeper to counter it. We just kept going for it. I think they just exposed us. And we played into their hands, I just thought.
Yeah, a lot of individual mistakes as well today. Or perhaps not necessarily individual mistakes, but a lot of players maybe not having their better games. And it's going to happen. We've got a lot of young players in our squad, and mistakes are going to happen. I think it's just about supporting them learning from them types of mistakes. And I know we obviously all want 3 points, but I think we're all old and wise enough to understand it's not going to obviously go that way for the entire season. But it's just little things today. I think, Reece, you mentioned before we come on live, there was was it the second goal? I think Colwell could have gone up for an header, but he didn't and ended up losing the ball.
Before they scored, that was in the first half. They had a call. I think in the post they did. But the ball comes down and Ruben sort of shirks from the ball. They win the header, and he's thinking, right, just put your head through it, clear your lines. But I think the second goal might be Joe Well and Robertson go for the same player. A deft touch, he's cut down midfield in half. There's all of a sudden they're on the counter there. There's no midfield for us because they were so forward. And that also annoyed me because, again, last year, that was something that killed us so much last year, was the one ball would take our midfield out of a game completely. And we've seen it today, and that was frustrating a bit.
And, at the end of the day, we got every right to be frustrated, I think. Because... But it's the way we channel it, I suppose, and the way you kind of put your opinions across, I suppose. The way I want to say it. I think we had such a good start. I suppose we expect that every week now, don't we? Which we know full well it's not going to happen. The amount of travelling we've done over the last couple of weeks is bonkers. So we don't know how much of an impact that's having on the team. And for me, I just don't like I know obviously they haven't played a league game for a couple of weeks with the FA Cup game and things, but just the amount of changes and having consistent players in regular positions, I think I don't think he knows his best starting 11 at the moment, because I don't think we've had the same starting 11 once.
Go on. Oh, I was going to say, I think he does know his starting 11. This is my sort of view of it. The starting 11 are never all fit all together, or he might see like a certain game where, I don't know, Turnbull suits better in like a deeper role than, say, Wintle or Alex Robertson. I don't know for sure in that. I think I can kind of see, you can see most of the players he kind of favours, right? But I know, he changes the back four quite a bit. But if I'm being honest, right, it's apart from the start of the season, they haven't all been fully fit. There's always been either someone with a slight little niggle, and that's going to happen. But like with Fish now, it's like he was put on the bench. I mean, the last time we saw him, he was in a knee brace or whatever, and he's still come on as a sub. Like, we got two centre-backs on the bench. Like, why have we got two centre-backs on the bench for a start, unless you intend for one to come and play full-back or defensive midfielder? But it's like, if Fish isn't fully fit, I don't want to see him in the squad, with all due respect. I want to see him when he's fully fit. But this is the other problem we got in it. I feel like, as great of a manager I do think BBM is, and one to come, I think he's sort of done it to himself a bit. I understand the idea of going with a really small squad, and we said this before going on air. It's like, I get it, right? You don't want to upset any players, but that's kind of what you're going to have to do sometimes. You're going to have to risk having a slightly bigger squad. First of all, just to protect yourself from injuries, right? Second of all, to stop, especially young players, some of them their first proper men's football season, having all that pressure, just knowing that at any point you could chuck another senior player on for them and they can have a rest. And these players don't really have that. And the senior players we do have, I wouldn't say they've been the most reliable over the last few years, if I'm being honest. Either that or they've just come into the club. And again, someone who's just come into the club, they're not going to be made captain, are they? Very rarely, unless it's obviously the exception of Aaron Ramsey. But, being honest, you look at that squad and think like, our squad's so big compared to others. I'm not saying we need to have loads of bodies, but it really does it doesn't help the youngsters. And again, I don't want to be on their back all the time. But if I'm being honest, right, you just chuck another couple of senior players on the bench. You just sort of take that extra bit of pressure off their shoulders, so that if the game is going south, you can just make those subs. It's just, again, we're doing loads of traveling. Every team's going to do that, but us more, because we have the pressure of wanting to get promoted. Not every team has got the aim of getting promoted this season. A lot of teams would love to, but this goal is just make the playoffs. If we can get a draw away at Cardiff, we'll take that. With us, it's like we expect to beat everyone, and I get that 'cause it's the hype. But I think we forget sometimes that we're not only expecting that of a team of like middle-aged or senior players. Half our squad is like under 21, it seems. So it is hard to expect that. But I just thought we would have been had a bit more depth in our squad to begin with. I don't know.
There's two things I want to say there. Is first one, Matt said about it was a few mistakes from youngsters, right? Which, again, we all expect that. But then you're looking at the senior pros to step up anyway and make a difference and help them through games. I think you look at Turnbull, who's been, for me, one of the most disappointing players this season. I don't think he's stepped up at all. I've been really disappointed. I think it was in Rotherham or Plymouth. He was man of the match for me. He run the game. And since then, he's not been the same. But like, when we're on Fish now, right? So last week was the FA Cup against Peterborough. You had a chance to play Chambers and Oshaw as centre-back. You could have rested Lawler, who we've all admit Lawler's been struggling with groin issues. You could have rested him there. Fish has been struggling for the last few weeks with his knee. You could have rested him there. We didn't. And then we heard then Fish is not trained this week because his knee. But he's on the bench. And you're thinking, you don't need to make the risk. It's frustrating. Like in the FA Cup game, we all understand, right? We want to win as many games as we can. If you told me last Saturday, Peterborough, Oshaw and Chambers are centre-half in the FA Cup, I would not have cared. I would have gone, that's fine. They both get game minutes. They both get minutes. They both get match fitness. It's a cup game we're not too bothered about because we got so many games coming up. But he went with the two youngsters who have both been struggling with injury recently. And now Fish is out injured. We don't know if he's going to be back next game because he has been struggling. Lawler's had groin issues. He might be out injured now in the Wales camp. But I just think selection sometimes is a bit Question marks.
Bellamy-esque.
Why is Wintle dropped? What's Wintle wrong? Is Wintle carrying knock? We don't know if Wintle's carrying knock. But if he is carrying knock, why put him on the bench?
To me, that's exactly it. To me, if they're not fit, you don't have them in the squad. But I feel like he's kind of forced to do that because he doesn't want to fill up with a. That's my impression. But who else have we got to bring on?
But again,
would you prefer somebody from the 21s on the bench rather than Fish today? Then
I would.
So yeah, if Fish is struggling, right, which we all know he is, why can't he put a youngster on the bench? Even if you're not planning on playing him, to have that experience, you've got Louis Giles, who we all know is more than capable of stepping up.
He's training with us, so
yeah. Is it perfect? The young lad against Stupid County,
he's good.
Was that fantastic? Mafiko, look, if Windle's not going to come on today, if he is carrying knock, why is Mafiko there? He looks more than capable of stepping up, and he's done it so far this season. There's players who have done it, so I don't understand why they not do it. I just don't understand this. I get this tinkering all the time.
Stubbornness sort of thing.
Turnbull comes on instead of Wintle today now. I'm thinking, why is Turnbull coming on? We know he's been struggling poor for form. Drop him for a bit and make him move his place again. But I don't know. I think January we need to strengthen in a few positions. I think in January, not heavy, not heavy, but one or two positions need strengthening in January because it seems to be a case of too many injuries hitting us, rotating the squad far too much. It's killing us in some games, I think.
And the frustrating thing for me is that, like, they're not massive injuries. It's a week or 2 here or there, innit?
Yeah.
But that's knocking out consistency as well, then, because we're not able to pick that same side. And I think we talked about injuries maybe in the week, Reece, I think. And we don't seem to be having as many. We're not having as many big injuries. But like I said, you're having players missing a week here, a week there. And it's just that knock-on effect then is having throughout, the whole squad, really. And, you'd like to think people are able to step in, but it's just...
Did Kellyman play the whole game? Sorry, I remember.
No, Kellyman didn't. He come off, I believe.
Oh, I think, if Isaac Davis, I think it was. I was going to say, he played quite a while, but quiet game.
I mean, this is what I said about pros stepping up, right? Chris Willock last year, I criticised on the show quite often because last year I thought Chris Willock was very poor. This year, he's been a big player for us. And you can see that we're missing him. But then I'm looking at other players thinking, you need to step up now and have the same impact. And one or two of them don't seem to do it. Robertson looks like a different player since coming back from wherever he's been, by the way. He looks like he's going to be starting. I'd like to see him try alongside Wintle. But I think Robertson looks a much better player. I mean, Turnbull, disappointed with. But yeah, there's a few of them that need to start stepping up now. And when they are back, you can rest like Ruben for some games because there's a lot of pressure on Ruben's shoulders to make things happen. You can rest him, play Kellerman in a 10 or Willock in the 10. And if need be, bring him on later. I mean, it's such a... There's few players there that need to step up, I think, and take some pressure off some youngsters. But I've been disappointed with.
Yeah, he had a couple of chances first half, didn't he? I think halfway through the first half, Ruben, I think he had a header. He had a left foot shot across goal. I think the keeper tipped it away. But for me, and I know he's been up and down a little bit, but he just looks so comfortable with the ball at his feet and he beats men so easy. And I don't know, it's just... What are you laughing at?
Just the phrase of the words. But yeah, you're right. Again, he's a natural 10 in the end.
I didn't bite it for it, so...
I say a natural 10. Most 10s you look at are quite short, low centre of gravity. He's quite tall for a 10, but he's so technically fantastic with the ball at his feet. And I just think we're missing some of the players around there. The players around there have been inconsistent, I'd say. So therefore, I think if other players around him don't have the best of games, Ruben's game doesn't seem as impressive, should we say. Because he can put a ball wide 7 out of 10 times. But if that ball doesn't get across in the box, you just think that's a wasted chance. You're not thinking that was a hell of a ball for Ruben.
Yeah, no.
Do you think so? I hear this a lot about inconsistency, right? And I get it. I get what people mean by it, but isn't kind of like that the nature of the game, of the fact that every game is going to be at least a handful of players be like, oh, you know what, he had a quiet game tonight, and not to say they had a bad game or a good game or whatever, but it's like I feel like we're sort of saying that a lot in terms of like we're being really inconsistent, even though we knew at the start of the season they were good. We were completely fine knowing there's going to be ups and downs. I think it's more just the fact that because we haven't, I bring it back to the squad depth, because we haven't got that ability to rotate with many players, it puts more pressure on the ones who are in the squad to do it. And whilst I know it's great to have like that small squad where everyone's, rooting for each other, I don't know. I kind of, when you make people fight for their place a bit more, it does kind of, I mean, think of Baker now. I mean, he's always going to be selected unless he gets injured, and God forbid he does. But like, I haven't seen once like a Louis Giles or a TJ Parfit, albeit he's new. But like, Mafiko, I think, came on, started one game over him, and that was just the rest, Bagan, and that was only for 30 minutes. So it's like, I know obviously we know we lack depth in certain areas, but like the thing with the inconsistency thing for me is that like, I don't think there's ever going to be a point in the season where we get like another good run of games, because we're never going to be 100% fit, all of us now, for the rest of the season. Everyone's going to be carrying something, but not everyone's going to mention it to the physios if it feels like almost nothing. And, like it might seem like nothing at first, and it could end up in a long-term injury. It's like, we don't know the depth of all the issues that people don't talk about. It's only when someone goes down on the pitch to be thinking, oh yeah, he's done something new, whereas other people, I know Angie, for example, we didn't learn for ages. He was carrying an injury until we realized why he was, wasn't performing as he usually did. So it's hard to tell sometimes. We've been saying inconsistency, but I just find that they're already looking for a break, honestly, and I think we needed another international break, as much as I hate them all the time.
But with the consistency thing, right? Every game, like, you'll carry one or two players who will struggle through a game, but it does seem if the front players are not firing, then there's usually two or three of them not firing. It's not just one of them, if that makes sense. It's never just the right wingers had a bad game. They're not creating nothing up front. The front line's not creating nothing. We're not getting the balls in the box. When we are, there's no one in the box. It seems to be a chain reaction then of issues rather than just one or two individuals. Like,
yeah.
But we got players like Isaac Davis. He has glimpses of brilliance, but then he's dropped. And it seems to be a case of we've trained really well this week, so these players are playing. And again, I'm not criticising BBM here, but it seems to be every single week we lose a game, and it's the boys have been brilliant in training, but then we're not seeing on the Saturday. So maybe it's time we stopped picking players who do well in training and start picking the players who do well on the match day, because because the pressure is different, and some players thrive under that pressure on a match day, but can't get it replicated in training. So I think we do need to start sticking with players who are playing well rather than training well.
Yeah. Even inside, by the way.
Right, let's dip into the chat. Let's have a little look who's here. Plenty of comments coming in, so let's have a little bash through them.
Play the under-12s Tuesday.
Martin
I'm available for Tuesday, by the way, if they need me.
Same.
I'll get stuck in. I'll 2-foot someone and then butt the manager.
Brexit style.
I have no words for that display today, says Martin. Tim O'Brien, second half was awful, as was the result, but we were the better side in the first half. Their keeper was excellent, kept them in it. Important people keep their heads tonight. What else we got? Yeah.
I read that's Tim O'Brien.
Dreadful defending second half. I think during the international break they need to regroup, come back together stronger. I think we are a better side than that. The result suggests need to sort inconsistencies.
Yeah, it's that word again, isn't it?
It's wild. It's wild, right? You see that when the bad run of games we've had, the results we've had, we win our game in hand, we go top. I mean, we think the championship is wild. This league is just something different.
Yeah, and the only positive for me today, and I think again we said it before we come on live, that we was really lucky that we haven't fallen further behind, because all the teams up and around us kind of lost today, I think.
Yeah,
I think they find the refs in the wild.
Oh, the referee standard in this league is shocking. I don't do any rants this year because how young the side is, but I would gladly rant at the referee.
When it's a championship ref this game, I'm pretty sure they said he was a championship ref last season.
Bobby Madley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't he done before? He was a Premier League referee originally, and he got done for either making fun of someone or a visual allegation come out against him, and he had to step away.
You'll have to have a look, Reese. Sue says she's not seen today. She's been watching her 7-year-old granddaughter having her first fight, I think I should say. Interested to find out what went wrong. Everything went wrong, second half. Like I said earlier, I think if we had got the first goal, I was comfortable we would have gone on and won the game quite convincingly, really. But when you concede a goal, what was it, a minute and a half after half-time? It's just... It's a sucker punch, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Graham says, in fairness, a lot of our chances went straight to the keeper. I thought he made a couple of good saves as well, mind.
I will say this, though. I think the one positive... there's a few positive things still. I feel like we got a lot more shots off than usual. We did, I want to say, test the keeper, but it shows the lack of chances that we get in other games by the fact that pretty much every shot on target went straight to the keeper. And I think that sort of like says a lot of like, I don't feel like, they're used to getting that many chances. And sometimes they feel like they need to take an extra few touches when they don't have that instinct to just shoot before, they take the extra touch thinking it's going to do them well. And then they realize, I have to pass it across then. And sometimes we'll have a chance where the ball goes from one wing and it's passed all the way to the other wing just because they can't do it. And that's frustrating because it's like you're going wing to wing to wing to wing, but the goal's in the middle. And it's like, just take a chance, like.
And when they do get a cross off, it's usually either overhit or underhit.
Yes, a floated one, nice soft,
And there's no one in the box. There's got one man in the box, and be Salek, and everyone else will be stood around with the ball. So yeah, it's frustrating, that is.
What's your opinion on use of Salek at the moment? I know it's quite a topic in our WhatsApp group. Still looking, is he looking for free kicks more often than not, do you think? Or is he literally getting wrestled to the ground every single time? It looks like, I don't know, is it 50-50?
He's not going full Ateta, is he? Like, you'd know if he's going full Ateta and just hogging the ground, but he's not. So...
It's a tough fight. I don't think we get the ball to him enough, right? You see how deep he drops back to win the ball back and pick the ball up. He shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't matter who the striker is. We do not give enough service to the striker regardless. We had Glatzel, same problem. We've had, I don't know, strikers. Agbo, we didn't provide him enough chances. But again, you think all the strikers over the last 5 years, again, we forget about Kanga because you could literally put on a plate for him and he probably wouldn't show up for it. But you look, all the strikers got out. We do not create enough chances. We get the ball wide. Drill the ball in the box. He's a poacher.
Yeah.
About the time Salek got on the shoulder of the last defender last year and put a foot on the ball and got a goal, right? We don't do enough. You get the ball wide, put it in a box. But right now,
a lot of chance, when he drilled in.
Yeah, but what seems to happen is now, and I say this nearly every show now, the ball will go to one of the wingers. Ruben will go across, the full back will come across, and one of the 8 or the 6 will come up with them. So there'll be 4 guys on the corner of a box passing amongst themselves.
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them should get in the fucking box and he runs. If the forward runs to the front post, he drags the defender with him. The player can go to the back post, drag the defender with him. This space opens up. Just run in the box, make some movement, and then you'll get players in the box. Leeds beat us 7-0 last year. They put like 5 or 6 men in the box, runners in the box. That's how they kept scoring. We don't do enough for that. I mean, Salek, it doesn't matter how Salek plays. If you don't provide him enough chances, he will drop deeper to pick the ball up, and he will probably try and look for fouls. It's just the way strikers are. I mean, we've got to start putting balls in the boxes and giving us more service and supply into them.
Yeah. Just this comment on Paul. Cardiff Com said BBM changed it after 15 minutes and we weathered the storm and we sort of got on top. But when we got on top, we're not putting teams away. So, yeah, I think for the first 15 minutes, I think I was messaging Reese because Reese was stuck in work. I think I said to you, Reese, didn't I? For the first 15 minutes, it was all Blackpool. Yeah. And then I think we had a spell then for 10, 15 minutes where, we could have scored 2 or 3 goals ourselves, really. But, yeah, just that, we're not able to put that ball in the back of the net. And at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. And if you don't do it, you're not going to pick up any points.
You know what's crazy? Sorry, really quick. We press well at times, and we win the ball back so much. And you think for the amount of times we win second balls and win the ball and sort of attacking again, it almost feels like cheating. We get this many chances and we still can't put a few away. You know what I mean? Like other teams, they kind of prey on little mistakes. overhit passes like we do sometimes, and then they hit us on the break, and they take way less chances. I think Blackpool probably had way less chances than us, but it felt like more because of like how punishing it was and like how little defense. Like, even having like just one defender just tracking a runner for once would have been nice. We didn't do any of that, but it's like I felt like we had so many opportunities, and obviously their keeper was really good, but we should have put at least 2 of those away. Like, in my opinion, again, when you get one, the floodgates open then for us, because it's like, oh well, there we are. There's the team that's getting promoted, gonna score another 2-3 against us. But it's like it's always the case. If we don't score by half time, we'll probably lose. That's generally how it goes for us. I said to my granddad, because he's watching with me, and like I said, we need to get a goal in for half time. I'm not trying to be like overly greedy or selfish, thinking we should be that good. But it's always the case. If you don't score by half time, our game plan fades. We sort of lose concentration, and the other team grows into the game. Happens every single time. And even if we win that game, it'll be like a last-minute goal,
Well, I think
28 shots we had today. 11 of those were on target. Blackpool had 19 shots and 9 on target. So I think you mentioned earlier, Ev, that it was a game where we probably had more attempts at goal today. But again, out of those 28 attempts, 11 on target. I think they said there was 4 big chances then. We should be doing better, shouldn't we, with the players that we've got in our squad, in fairness?
Yeah.
Well, just see the stats now. I think it was at half-time, we had 23 touches in the opposition box. Full-time, we had 47 touches in the opposition box. I mean, you've got to do more with that. Because 19 shots against us, that's, I wouldn't say alarming, but was it Reading? We had 18 shots against us, I think it was. Leighton Orient, I think, had about 20 shots against us. We can see we're given a lot more chances to the opposition. I notice a lot more now. And again, it will happen with how we play. But this is why I think the manager needs to start putting the 6 on to cover the back 4 and help defensively a bit more.
Here's a brilliant comment then from John. A lot of people slate Wintle because he has no flair and don't do the pretty stuff. But our defence is nowhere near as strong without him in front of them. He is good at doing the dirty stuff. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah.
And again, you notice it because when the team goes forward now, the centre half is up in the final third. The full-back's in the final third. You go one defender on his own. Where Wintle will be stood in front of that back 4, going, no, you stay. You can go, you stay, I'll cover this bit. And that's what a good 6 does. And I think it was one game this season Wintle played. He was the oldest player at 28 years old. That's a bit. That's a bit wild. That is when you stats like that.
Yeah.
I think it was Warnock would seem like he'd almost crucify Lee Peltier if he stepped across the halfway line. And he was a right back. I mean, think of those days where you had defensive full-backs, and now we're having a whole back line, playing in the wing position at times.
We've had ex-footballers on with Rob, and they've all said the same thing, that the intelligence in footballers these days has been taken out of them because it's drilled into them what they should do, what they can't do. Whereas it used to be a case of, I trust you to know your job and to do your job. I trust you to know the man next to you is going to do his job. But now it seems to be a case of, you do this, don't do this. If this happens, do this. And it's sort of like, it's become robotic in some regards. And it's like, you've taken the intelligence of the players and they're literally doing it word for word what you're saying, and they're not reacting in the moment. I think that's a big problem with modern football.
I think some of our defenders must have seen that Van der Ven's goal for Spurs in the week, and I
literally said that to my granddad. Yeah, I said that. He said Lawler's trying to get goal this season for the whole EFL. He was the amount of times you sprint forward. I don't mind that, but then you had him sprinting forward.
But yeah, you've got to have a contingency plan if we do lose the ball.
He's like, Kapaka's like, I want to get forward as well, man, so I want to get involved in this. And you had all of a sudden, right, you had Dylan Lawler sprinting right where your midfielders are. I mean, if he's going to pass 2 yards next to him, so you may as well, run all the way and just have someone else to cover, like the 6, But I thought that was mad how, if he can run half the pitch cut out through loads of Blackpool men, right, why can't our wingers take someone on 1v1 or whip a cross into the box? Or do some of that. If our centre back can get past all of these at 19 years old, not just respect or whatever to everyone else, but why can't we at least ping the ball around, pass it through the middle, past a couple of players? Because I'm sure passing it is faster than dribbling, right? Unless you're Dylan Lawler or Van der Ven, Well,
Lawler did against Leighton Orient and scored. He picked the ball up the halfway line, Dylan Lawler ran up the defence. Yeah. No one challenged him, put a shot off, scored.
Amazing keeper.
And it's, to be fair to him, like it's a great player. And it's good to see a centre half so comfortable with the ball at his feet. But like you said, the ball goes wide. The wide men sort of look to cut back inside rather than to take the man on. Now, when I was growing up, wingers, whose only job was to get beyond the full back and put a ball in the box. Now they seem to be scared to try and take the man on.
This is a good point from Mark. A lot of home games now in December. He's very positive. This is our little blip, and we're going to be fine. I don't think. I know, obviously, initial things after losing again is kind of panic stations, but I think, like Reece said, what are we, third, fourth game in hand? I know Stevenage are below us as well, and they've got 2 games in hand, but Christ, we still win our game, and like you said, we're back to the top, and we're all talking about how negative things are, but bloody hell, I think, let's be realistic, and, we're up there, aren't we? So I think December will be a massive month for us if we can kind of turn it and pick up the points at home. I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine.
I think in more ways than one, this big one for us, simply because recent history, December has been a killer for us. Yep. When you look at last year, December really killed us. I mean, Oxford defeat was just shocking. But if you're there or thereabouts the top 2 come January, 1, you got an easier time convincing players to come. 2, you probably got an easier time convincing the ownership to release some funds for you to strengthen. And let's be honest, it's 3, you go into the new year with a feel-good factor. So it's...
How do you think they'll approach that then? No, sorry. So we're top 2 come January. Are we looking for players to get over the line? Or have we got to be mindful of if we get them in the club till the end of the season, are they gonna be able to perform in the Championship as well? It's a difficult one, isn't it?
I think I trust BBM to know what he wants, and he's probably looking at players again. If I can get him in, it'll be the missing piece for our midfield. Or if I can just get a loan player to the end of the season to cover left back, just to cover and give Bacon a rest now and again if needed, and to push him a bit, I can do that. I think he'd have a wealth of targets in mind, regardless for Championship or League One, depending where we are. And I think it's probably an easier sell to players if we are top 2 to the Championship ones he wants to bring in, because he will say Cardiff is a club on the rise, and next year that momentum will get us, keep us going.
How many loan places have we got left? Because there's only
we've only used 2, haven't we?
So yeah, we've used 2, but only 1 has been used technically, because I think, if I'm correct, Trotter's class is a foreign loan-in, not a British loan. So you can have 5 UK-based long-term loan deals, I believe, which are 6 months or longer. But then the foreign loans don't count as that. But again, if we sign Trot in permanent in January, which I think we should do regardless, we should do it in January, it frees you up then for a few more loans in. So
could we just sign a bunch of Brazilian and Colombian players then? Would that not help? But that would fit to Itaka sort of esque. I think it would definitely help in some ways, but definitely ruin the squad.
Do you think?
But I'd love a Brazilian with the quality and technical flair.
A Spaniard, he was good.
Cardiff City shirt with Janino written on the back,
Hey, the Saudi league's always looking to offload a few players. Mind, I mean, they might have to take a bit of a pay cut, but I think in response to a question you asked Reece as well about how you be backed. I gotta be honest, right? To be careful how I say this, just in case I to say the wrong thing. Look, if we're in the position where we're in playoff position at least, Tan's gonna chuck everything he can at the club to try and get back promoted. Because I mean, we're looking at the obvious thing, right? I mean, I'm not sure how many more years he's gonna be, around this club. But if he wants them back in the Championship as soon as possible, because every season we're down here is going to cost us so much more than I mean, we were already losing money last season. You think of the money he's been pumping him, and fair play to him. As much as I've got a ton of good things to say, but I think if you're Vincent Tan, you want them back there as soon as possible, because you see with some teams like your Wigans, your Rotherhams or whatever, they've been down in that league for a while now. Obviously, Rotherham been back and forth a bit, but for example, Wigan and Barnsley, it's they used to be in and out of the Championship a bit, and probably even higher, some of them, but they've been in League One for quite some time now, and I think Tan's probably looking at that, thinking if we're going to have to try and get back up, it's going to be this season. As long as we're in, as long as we're at least 6, I reckon he's going to chuck in as much as he can for it, because when we think of the value of the club, it probably doubles if we go back up the Championship. I'm just seeing that kind of way, but
I just don't think we'll spend money. I just think he'd probably look at it and, like we said, 2 or 3 loans maybe, see if BBM can use some of his contacts and go that way. But
it's not a bad idea still. But
you don't know, do you? That's the trouble, and we'll see.
There's players out there, like he'll know probably exactly what he wants, and he's probably got a list already drawn up for January. So I won't be surprised if he's having the club trying to work on some of these beforehand, ready to get them sorted.
I think somebody answers this question.
No, he didn't. Wasn't involved at all, so he didn't travel with the squad, I don't believe. I think they try to save him for Tuesday.
What's your opinions on him going to Plymouth?
Like, it's one of those games, say, where you probably could have used him today. And let's be honest, if you're not going to bring someone on, rather than Turnbull, Rawls will be the man. It's a great move for him and for Plymouth, because he's only on until January, I think he is. But he's much needed experience for a League One struggling side.
Bottom now, Chris.
Yeah, they're going to need something like that in. It's a great move for him. Fair play to the guy. All the best to Rolsey. As long as he doesn't play well against us, but all the best.
Yeah, can we put something out there that he's not allowed to play against us? Because, like Josh Bowler today, and I know you were his greatest fan, Reese.
Oh,
but I just, when you have a player on the opposite side, you just know full well they're going to do something. Gladly, I think he had an assist for one of the goals, did he? I think today, but
to be fair, it's what time he done something. It's what time Bowler did something. I've been waiting 3 years to do fucking something. He was again. It's wild how many goal assists, a goal. What's the word? A goal things he had when he was with us, because he was awful in so many games. He stopped playing with his hair, cut back his side, pass it back, wouldn't take a man on. Oh, he's such a frustrating player to watch. He was.
It's not the first time he's played for Blackpool either. He went on loan there a couple of seasons ago. I think the one before us, he went there and he did all right, actually. I think he was a midfielder then, I got a feeling. Like a central, I'm sure it was.
I thought he played more central today as well, to be fair, didn't he?
Well, he played inverters a lot, innit? But well, he's always been one to sort of cut inside, though, because, I don't think... Bullet liked it really when he's doing it, because Bullet was almost coaching him out to taking players on 1v1. Because when he first started, he'd keep the ball so close to his feet, but also so close to the defender, and he would still manage in such quick reaction time to sort of go left, right, and fool them. But after that opening day, he just got drastically worse over time, and it's still what happened. Because game day, obviously he scored debut goal. I thought, he's going to be a sensational player now. Because I was really excited when he signed, thinking how we signed him. But I realise he's captain inconsistent, really. So, and that's probably why he's gone back to Blackpool. I'm not sure if he's permanently there now or if he's... it's a free transfer he went there, just found out. So,
I tell you who I think we would do well in this side, this style of play now, is Manswerk. I thought he'd really suit this alongside Robertson in a BBM formation. And I just checked out, he's gone on loan to, is it Slavia Prague or Sparta Prague? Sparta Prague, he's on loan. But again, I think he'd suit this style of play. I
thought Ajax were letting him go.
They didn't direct him.
They probably will looking to let him go. If the club are able to, why not put a cheeky bid in January?
Wrexham showed interest in signing him, but they also showed interest in Chambers and Robinson and everyone. Well, I mean, it was rumoured, Yeah. They rumoured everyone.
Say, to be fair, Wrexham were linked with everybody.
Jamie Vardy.
Even Sai was linked to them at one point.
Comment here from Paul. Ruben at times I feel is more quicker in the footballing brain. He's waiting for others to catch up. Plenty of times today he's in possession and he's waiting for wingers to catch up or to move. Just too slow.
He can also be the devil of his own craft in the same way as he kind of overcomplicates it sometimes in that. He will do a nice sort of fake shot and then fake again because he's just that intelligent knowing people bite for it. But sometimes you just kind of want to unleash the dragon a bit earlier and just hit the shot. Like a few times he had a really powerful shot, really low, and the keeper didn't almost spill it, but it was a really powerful shot. I'm thinking, like, if we just had a few of those, oh God, yeah. You must be best player.
Turnbull's king of five-a-side, I think.
All I gotta say is, right, if it's training that matters the most, I am dreading when Hobart comes back.
He'd be playing up front.
Oh, Jesus Christ, imagine this.
Furthest away from our own goal.
He had a shocker as well. Somebody said he had a shocker as well today with the 3 goals.
Jesus,
put him up front there, Wood. You'd be missing the ball time as a fake shot, and it'll go in off someone else then.
Oh, I hope he does well, whatever he is, but just because he means we got easier chance of selling him. But it's just not working out for him.
Oh, bless him.
The games we seem to get more chances, we seem to struggle more. Maybe loss of concentration. We peppered Burton's goal and we lost 1-0.
Similar to Newport. We dominate the ball against Newport. They get one chance, they score, and they do nothing the rest of the game. And we have chance of a chance, but just don't look like scoring.
That was our under-16s, though, Reece.
But even then, he's like...
Chambers dribbling from Chambers trying to do a Van de Ven goal, wasn't he?
We get the ball to the final third. I think it's something we've had issues with the last few years. The final third, we seem to lose either composure or an idea of what to do next. It's always, I'll pass to someone else. If they lose the ball, it's not me. And then they pass it on, and
then... Bradford away on the 17th of Jan. Somebody asked about the next team, beginning with B, we're playing. They changed that to a 12:30 kickoff as well, I believe. Bradford, haven't they?
Oh, fuck. And he done...
Brutal for the guys who was travelling up for that, because that's a trek and a half.
Huddersfield, 12:30 kickoff. I can't do that one now. I think Stockport, 12:30 kickoff. Another one. 12:30 is killers. It's Sky TV. It is. They can go fuck off, honestly.
Well, that's our sponsorship opportunity gone. That collaboration in it.
You know what? Millwall fans, right? I got my best mate, a Millwall fan. They got a fantastic chant at the ground they have, and it's fuck off Sky TV, fuck off Sky TV. We got dodgy fire sticks. And I don't agree with all of the little chants, but that one, it's fair play to them.
We're trying to keep a good reputation here, Reece. Go on.
Reece says Chambers had a gilt-edged chance where he headed across the goal.
I think
Joel Robertson and Ruben all drew good saves, just one of them days. Yeah, just nothing seemed to fall in it.
Chambers must have sneezed because I don't know how he managed to head it away from the goal. I don't know to be taking single out, but I look at that. It looks, he's so close to it. I don't know, maybe it's a spin of it. I don't know, he's overthought.
Graham says we need the rest of the team to get goals like we did in our first 10 games. It was a problem last season.
Goals in general was a problem last season. It wasn't until January we started scoring a bit. I think Salek had 8 in the last 6 months. I think Robbo had a few in the last 6 months. Before that, goals was a major issue. I think
ball didn't cross the line unless we're taking a kick off.
You could put the ball on the line. El Ghazi would do his best to not score. I mean, the amount of times he shit out of a challenge or just panicked to the ball. I mean,
has he got a club now, El Ghazi?
Valencia, eh?
Well, check now, actually. Yeah.
It's not Valencia, is it?
When you were checking that, then I'm just going to play the video from Bossman, and we'll be back in a minute, guys.
This episode of Cardiff City World is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network, here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts, whether you're constantly negative, overly positive, or maybe even the instant over-the-top reaction social media guy or girl. For the football fashionistas still clinging to the legendary terrace fashion of yesteryear, or the best retro gear from Michael Thorne, the nostalgia merchants dreaming of the old lady Ninian Park, or still celebrating Campbell's goal in the Millennium Stadium, whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker with a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season, simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum 1 reward or offer per player per day, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org.
There we are. Al Salia.
Out the guitar he is for the club.
Where's he out in
Wild.
Qatar?
Yeah, wild that is. I mean, it's one of those players that we all had such high hopes for because of what he did with his Villa and stuff, and he was a shadow of himself.
I think it was more of a political move than a transfer of any kind, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, what a disappointing transfer he turned out to be. And the amount of times he was offside, right, and players couldn't pass the ball to him because he was stood there. Ruba would look for the pass. He's already offside, so Ruba had to cut back inside and lose the ball. And last year, he took a lot of brunt of that because of El Ghazi just always being way offside.
Rhys Lasky says it's such a shame that Lawler and the back line as a whole had a few hairy moments because he was class on the ball again. His runs into midfield are very impressive. His distribution also elite. Yeah, he's a talented boy, isn't he? But again, a couple of dicey moments and game over.
What's crazy is we spent, £3.5 million on Darland, and Dylan Lawler's doing it, 10 times better than what he's doing. So if that's what 3.5 million buys you, Dylan Lawler for me is 20 million before we even start talking negotiating.
Yeah. Jammer says, forget the attempts as Blackpool defended well and Cardiff didn't. It's the name of the game, isn't it? Jonathan says, I think it was Plymouth that Wintle was the oldest player, not 100% sure though. Hardly their keeper saved their bacon today, in my opinion. 28 shots we had, so hardly like their defence was on top. They were all at sea at times. Vincent Taylor, no end product, good football, but needs to be more hungry for the goals. Reece says, 21 goals we scored, I think, over the season and conceded 13 in the league. Pretty sure that's up in the top 3 or 4 in the league for goals scored. Jama says, we definitely need a box-to-box midfielder. Can't rely on defenders doing it as they are leaving others vulnerable at the back. Great point that, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is why I think the 6 needs to be playing. Because the 6 does cover. And I think, like I said today, disappointing to have Winter on the bench and not even come on. And you can see it happen time and time again trying on the counter. And you think, right, put the 6 on, but Turnbull comes on. And this is nothing against Turnbull. This is a positional thing. You want a proper 6 there. It just doesn't happen.
What's your opinion? I know I'm not for it, to be honest. But I know Si have mentioned it quite a few times about putting Osho in the 6. What would be your opinion on him giving that a go?
Peterborough, we had a chance to try that. We didn't do it. We've got Arsenal 21s now coming up on Tuesday. This is the perfect chance to try things like this. Because Osho's not going to call up to, is it France? I think he's French or is he English? But he's not going to call up.
Sorry.
I was going to say, there's a perfect chance to try a 6 would be him in the 6 on Tuesday night. Just to see how he settles into it. Again, if he has a poor back pass, there's a defence behind him to cover him. So you take the pressure off in that regard. You have Chambers to play a centre-half with a youngster, and have them two. Have Chambers coach a young player through the game, and you could have Osho in a 6 and help the midfield a bit more, and just to shield the back line. It's a perfect chance to try it. I don't see why not.
You know what'll happen though, right? We'll play in Tuesday's game now. We'll play Trotting goals. We'll have Fish and Lawler, both with injuries or so. Bacon will play.
Lawler's not available. He's not. Lawler's not because he's called up the Welsh squad.
Well, there we are then. So whoever else is in there,
Christian Chambers.
There'll still be Osho on the bench. We wouldn't even use him in the 6. We'll have right back. Well, Capaccio probably not. Probably NG or something. But we'll have the most, the closest squad to what we will have in the league, which I don't see the point if it's Arsenal on 21s, if I'm being honest. I think this is a really good opportunity for youngsters to verse youngsters, if I'm being honest. I know you're going to have a certain amount of senior players, but I'm sure
I've heard a rumour as well. I'm not sure if it might have been Jonathan or one of the gents in the chat saying that a lot of the Arsenal youngsters have been called up to various international camps as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of side they put out as well. But if they got a 15-year-old like Max Dowman playing for the senior team, it's going to be a talented bunch of players, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think it's not so much about win, lose, or draw in that case. It's just time to get the youngsters playing and just understand this is men's football, albeit he's still playing under 21s, but half our squad is under 21s anyway. So, I just feel like just give them a run around, just put absolutely no pressure on the games. And sometimes I find the games where we have absolutely no pressure to win, I got to feel like, Wrexham, we didn't really have much pressure on us. It was on them to lose, really. And we ended up winning. And look, I'm sure, they felt the pressure because you want to win. It's not a somewhat official derby. But it's like, there'll be no pressure on the Chelsea game, just as the same. It's going to be hard. Yeah, we'll probably put our best team out. But, like, there's freedom there. There's freedom to mess up and not put too much pressure on them. I feel the times where we do put so much pressure and we be really rigid and making sure that, make sure you move this position and that position, all that, you lose all the creativity, like, we said earlier. So I just find sometimes, I know it's hard in the league because you want to win all your games, but in the cup, for me, the cup comes third place to everything else. The league is first by a mile. As much as I love for us to go on loads of cup runs, we've got to be realistic. Like, a cup run and a league run, and then you're expecting that of players who are under 21. It's way too much.
But then, so the rules say we got to play so many first-team players in the cup, right? What if we don't? What's the worst thing to do? Fine us. Okay, well, why you make us play it during the international break when all the fucking players have been called up? It's the EFL's fault. Fuck them.
Yeah.
The worst they will do is
because
fine
of the club.
Again, they'll fine us. That's the worst thing to do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny, right? They're the ones who set the game out to play this week. So, you know what? We need to rest players for player safety. If we pick up an injury now, can we sue the FA for forcing us to play them? No, that's our fault. So why should we have to risk injuries of players who need a break
when they
made us play this? Again, it's wild. I just think the EFL are a joke, and it's only because it's Cardiff. If we were, I don't know, an English club, if we were an English club, they would have moved this game for us. We all know it, because it's Cardiff. They won't.
No comment.
I think this question by you or this comment could be a video opportunity for Sai. The club really should be asking the EFL why on earth Salek gets manhandled every game without any protection. I think Sai should do a video of every single every rugby tackle that's made on Yusuf Salek.
I call it the Kiefer effect. It's the Kiefer Moore effect of if you're above 6'3", you're not able to be fouled. It's just you're immortal. No one can ever foul you ever, and it goes the other way as well. That's the Kiefer Moore effect. Tell you what, he started a good trend there.
Didn't he say it's because he has to be a sustained period of pulling and grappling? So you could hold it for 2 seconds, let him go, then do it again quickly.
So you're telling me I could rip the guy's throat up as long as I do it within 2 seconds? That's all right then. So you know what I mean? Quick done. That's fine. No, I'm not continuing to do that.
It depends though. You play for Cardiff.
See, yeah.
If you play for Cardiff, there's a foul and red card straight. If you play against Cardiff, no foul. Didn't see it.
I was expecting. I wouldn't have been surprised for Ruben to have had a red card today when he threw that guy into the audience.
Yellows. Hikwe, he deserved it, to be fair. Former Sheffield Wednesday player, so yeah.
But again, like I said, the refereeing standards are so poor. I think we were at a game about 2 weeks ago. The linesman puts his flag up for something. The ref carries on and just tells him no. And then 2 minutes later, Capaccio wins the ball back. The linesman keeps his flag down. The ref, the other side of the pitch, decides it's a free kick for whatever he is, and he can see how much he hit. He overrules the linesman twice in the game in the space of 5 minutes, both against us.
What was that chance? Sorry, that when he went off for a head injury. He totally wasn't because he was holding his leg, and then all of a sudden, my head really hurts. All of a sudden now, and then what happens then? We get the ball, right? I think it was Lola had it, or one of the centre backs. Hikwe's let it back on the pitch, even though he's just been off for a head injury, and he's allowed to go straight in the play, and he steals the ball. I think that's how they scored their second goal or something. Remember the situation with Kyle Walker in Man City where the ref blew the whistle and he walks back to get in position, and they take the free kick quick before he gets in position. The same thing happened there. I don't know how that was allowed, but it's what it is.
Yeah, standards so poor.
Yeah,
we criticise the Championship, but Jesus Christ, League One referee, and they've got to be looking at it because the refereeing standards in this country have gone downhill for the last few years. And I think VAR has played a big part because it's allowed them to make mistakes and be poor and get them out do they like.
Yeah, right. Sai is back tomorrow, guys, with the breakdown. 5 things, what we've learned. I'm glad he's doing that and not me. I'm not going to lie to you. So we are going to be wrapping up now in the next couple of minutes, just so the boys can get ready for match of the day. But yes, what's your still no need to hit panic stations yet, guys? I know we're allowed to be disappointed, but I don't think we need to be raising any alarms just yet, do we?
Yeah. I think it's sort of like, it's first date sort of vibes. You see some red flags, think, you know what, she has potential, but there's a little bit to be worried about. But let's go on a second date, let's see how it goes. And if those red flags keep coming up, like they have kind of been, then you start going, okay, well, if we hit the panic station early, at least we know then we won't wait until it's too late to start worrying. Like we won't get to a Lamucci moment then we'll be like, it's time to panic. Because I don't want that moment happening again, because that's not what we want to hear from a manager. I won't get to that stage. But I just think when me and Reece on our show before, people comment to say why being negative when we're winning games. It's like, but it's we were winning games against teams that we should have been beating. First of all, I think I worry that if we continue to play the way we do, it's going to look a bit shaky. But I'm sure we'll make at least playoffs. I just know the pressures of the season.
It's November. 100%. You don't win promotion in November. You don't get relegated in November. So
that's not what we said at the start of the season, Reece.
First of all, we got to win the league now. We're on holiday at this point.
Win it by December.
On holiday. But yeah, it's true. You don't win promotion or relegated this time of the year. December's a big month for us. There's a lot of points on offer in December. We should be getting as many as we can. And then come January, you see where you are. You see where your strength are. And March is when you start going, right, now we're on the run now for promotion. And March time is when the pressure will start hitting some of these players, because they'll either be the team chasing the pack or they will be the ones being chased. And that's a different kind of pressure, that is. And that's a lot to ask for a young squad. So January will be big for us, just to bring in one or two loans, if they have to be loans, experienced players, just to help some of them through. So you do want to win as many games as you can now to ease that pressure a bit for when they're in the final run-in.
Yeah. A couple of things I wanted to finish off with was obviously the 2,000 plus fans that travelled up today. Hope they all got home safe and sound. I think there was a couple of issues with some buses breaking down on the way up and on the way back, which would just be typical, spoil your day even more. And the last thing I wanted to mention was the minute silence for Remembrance Day before the game. That was well respected. And just a shout out, if there's anybody tuning in tonight who's in the services, fully respect the job you've done or you've done in the past or you continue to do. It's a job that I don't think I would ever be able to do, and full respect to, not just yourself, but to your families as well. Because if it was me and I had somebody in the service, I don't think I'd panic every time the doorbell went or the phone rang. So thank you for your service is what I'm trying to get at, I think.
Yeah, well said. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I think Martin is in the group chat with us. He's always ex-army. I think it's 1 or 2 probably as well. So yeah, cheers. Thank you for your service. And I think it's something the Cardiff fans have always done well, is respect the minute of silence. It's always something that's done. Don't forget Gareth, who comes to the football with us.
Yeah.
He's a para. He's done the lead wreath in the stadium for us as well.
All right.
He's done that a few times. Top people, like, fair play.
Yeah. Thank you very much, both of you, for tuning in with me tonight. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Loads of comments. Much appreciated. And we will catch up with you soon. Stay tuned. And we will be back. No star power.
Up at Bluebirds.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans. Balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.